Yeah, Woody Allen was on with Bill Maher. Bill Maher's been getting big guests, and Woody Allen doesn't do a lot of interviews these days, but he was willing to do Bill Maher. And like I said, I know Carl talked about it earlier in the week. I avoided it because I didn't know what Carl's take would be, so I haven't watched that yet. But I'm guessing maybe it's similar because Bill Maher came off so odd to me, where he's doing this thing. I don't know, whatever. I don't know if I'll get shit for this, for my Woody Allen take, but like, I think Woody Allen is a creep, but I don't think he's a pedophile. Like, I haven't, there have been multiple investigations into that. There have never been any other allegations. I don't know if I necessarily believe that story, but I'm also open to the idea that I'm wrong about that. What I find weird is, like, I see people online very passionate one way or the other, and none of us know. Like, I don't know why you would get so angry about whether or not Woody Allen is guilty of those crimes, particularly the ones that were talked about in the documentary. The stuff with the wife is very weird. Like, it's weird that she was his adopted daughter or stepdaughter.
Not his adopted daughter.
His adopted stepdaughter, right?
Girlfriend's adopted.
Yeah. So, Mike, I was exactly like you were on this, or not you, but I was like, he might be a Woody Allen weirdo. And then we watched one of his movies, because I've been a big fan of his movies for a really long time, Separate the Art from the Artist. And Electra really changed my mind on it. She did the research, and he's like, listen, he is a creep, but he is not what everyone says he is because he waited. He waited, Mike. He waited until she was
right. Like, and the other thing is, like, the people that are outraged by Woody Allen, they think he's a pedophile. Like, they're not, if they believe that, they're not wrong to be like, fuck Woody Allen. That's what I found. That's what I found so interesting about this Bill Maher interview, where he refers to it as cancel culture.
That's funny.
And he is way more pissed off for Woody Allen than Woody Allen is for himself. It was very weird to watch. Now, I think Woody comes off pretty decent in this interview, and Bill comes off nuts. It's wacky.
Please tell me Woody at some point does like a fourth wall break and looks at the camera. And just kind of like Jim from The Office.
This Bill Maher guy, I don't know. He's awfully passionate about this case.
Oh man, you go back and watch his movies. That was his thing, the fourth wall break. Oh, it's so funny. All right, this was called The Media.
Yeah, so this is kind of towards the end of the podcast when Bill brings up the scandal around Woody Allen, and like I said, Woody Allen didn't tweet something naughty that lost him gigs. Like, Woody Allen, if you believe he's guilty, you think he molested a child. So if you're outraged by that, you should be. You know, like he wasn't criminally charged or anything. But if you believe that happened, you should be outraged by it. But Bill Maher thinks you're a fucking asshole.
Also have wondrous things in your life. I mean, okay, your parents had a marriage that was out of spite, but the way you describe your marriage, completely idyllic.
It is. It's great. I love that.
Again, hold on. Soon Yi is an adult now, and they've been married for many years,
decades.
But never mention anything weird about it and just be like, it's an ideal marriage. It seems, boy, that's really the picture of bliss right there. Like, two comedians, Bill Maher can't joke about the idea that it's a little odd. No?
A little rocky start there, huh?
Yeah. Put it this way. If it was pitched as a sitcom, it's like, so you have this guy, he's 30 years older. He marries his ex-wife's or girlfriend's stepdaughter or adopted daughter. They would be like, well, that might be a little too weird for broadcast television, you know? Maybe go to a streaming service with that.
That's Lifetime. That's Lifetime all over it.
I guess.
Or we. One of those.
Right.
Lucked out completely.
Okay. I mean, you say, you eat every meal together.
Yeah.
I mean, and this has been going on for 30 years, basically.
Since she was married.
Yes.
For about
since she was this high.
30 years, yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy world.
Yeah.
It is amazing, though, the way the media gets stuff very often not just wrong, but like diametrically wrong. Like, and I know from things they've written about me, when you read about yourself, it's what you say to yourself is, wait, this is the one subject I know really well. Me. I know what I said. I know what I do.
Sure.
So, like, if I'm reading about me and it has no relation to reality, how can I trust what you're saying about anything? Iran, plastics, fucking.
I've asked that question at times in show business.
I'll just pause right there for a second. I agree with what Bill Maher is saying. Again, what the documentary is, and no matter what your opinion is on Woody Allen, what's Mia Farrow's daughter's name? I'm blanking on her name, but the girl that alleged.
Suni.
No. I'm thinking her actual daughter, the one that alleged him of pedophilia. No one thinks she's lying. Like, no matter what you think about the Woody Allen case, you either think Dylan Farrow. Yes, thank you. You either think Mia Farrow kind of drilled into her head for her own gain that this happened to her, like she was basically, brainwashed into thinking that this incident happened, or you think that Woody Allen is guilty. Those are the two thoughts you have.
Right. But
So
she
no-
only
no-
accused Woody Allen after he cheated on her with Suni. So it's just the timing is weird.
Yeah, so no one thinks that Dylan Farrow is lying. They just think she might be the victim of a weird situation in either direction.
Right.
Bill Maher is like, isn't the media just terrible how they get things wrong? And it's like, no, Dylan Farrow did allege these things. Like, she said this happened to her. And like, people just aren't sure exactly of what went down. But Bill Maher is like, isn't it ugly what the media did to you? It's like, no, these people, the Pharaohs did it to him, if anything.
He fake newsed us. It's like, I didn't fake news.
That I would see things that his movie is based on this, or he's doing a book about this.
Or he raped a child. Now Woody's not acknowledging it. He's like, oh yeah, that nasty media. They're like, oh, he bases his characters on himself. And it's like, well, they've said a little worse than that would.
It's completely untrue. And I think to myself, okay, these are trivial things. I'm not doing a movie about that. I didn't get the idea for this movie from that. So
I didn't rape my adopted daughter.
He's got his search Google history set really high. Just the lame stuff comes through.
Going on in when they talk about wars and taxes and the government.
What?
So here's the interesting thing that we're getting into here. Bill Maher is really annoyed at how Woody Allen has been perceived in the media. Woody Allen doesn't even really give a fuck. He's like, when you ask him how the media's perceived him, he's like, I guess they get some things wrong, like where my characters come from. Yeah. Like, what about all the pedophilia stuff, Wood? Come on. But
Like,
Bill Maher is very annoyed.
I've always called Woody Allen like the pre-Larry David. Imagine this same interview with Larry David. He'd be like, yeah, they don't like the Seinfeld work as much as like he wouldn't talk about the pedophilia stuff either. It's very Larry David.
Right.
This one's called Witch Hunt.
Yeah, so this is where Bill tries. He's like, Woody, don't you fucking hate these people? And Woody's like, meh, whatever.
You're a lot calmer than I would be if I had been in your situation with. I mean, you say you're disillusioned with liberals. I'll bet, but. Like the last 10 pages, you kind of...
New rule. If you rape a child, the media shouldn't cover it, okay?
Finally ride. It's awesome. You kind of... But even then, it's done in such a particular and professional way. It never gets nasty. It sticks to what you can prove, basically. But
yeah, I'm not nasty by nature.
No, but but the disillusion. I mean, look, you did a movie. You again lent yourself out as an actor, which you don't do a lot, for the Blacklist. I mean, the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you must have. I know you did notice the sort of recapitulation of the witch hunt. I mean, obviously that was about the witch hunting communists. To then what happened to you? And I mean, I'm hardly been the first one to notice that, the kind of moralizing that we used to hate from the right, the Jerry Falwells of the world. And then it came from the left. I mean, I've had it happen to me.
Again, I got to say,
comedy.
Was the Woody Allen thing, a political issue?
No.
Like, again, Woody Allen, I'm sure people disagree with me. I'm sure there are people that'll be very annoyed that I said, from what I've seen, I'm not certain he's guilty of that stuff with Dylan Farrow. There's people that will annoy. I don't know that they're all like lefties. Was it a political thing? Like, he was accused of pedophilia.
Yeah. We all remember the big political upheaval over Ike and Tina Turner, right? I mean, what?
Right. This was not like the left going after Daniel Tosh. You know, like this was a different. Unless I'm misremembering something, Bill Maher's trying to make this into a political issue. It was weird.
On a much lesser scale than you, but it is. I find it a bitter pill.
It comes from both sides.
It does.
It comes from the right and the left.
Mostly what happened to you came from the left.
Come on, Woody. You want to smash these liberal pussies, right?
Don't both sides on my show, Woody. Come on, hit those lefty loons.
It's weird how much Woody's like, whatever. And Bill's like, come on, let that anger out.
What a good choice by Woody Allen. PR here, excellent job. You look sane compared to this.
Yes, he comes off as the mild-mannered one, yeah.
You were a victim of over excesses of the Me Too movement and wokeness and a lot of inconsistencies there. But yeah, I mean.
But I was lucky because, that could be ruinous depending.
I was through you, Woody.
Yes, we need the anger.
No.
When everything
it moved, Mike. It moved.
happened, I was much older. I had done 45 movies already.
And it was 30 years before the Me Too movement. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, it did come back. Like, it did pipe back up a little bit. It wasn't even really Me Too, but it was like 10, 15 years ago. It did pop back up again as a story. And then that documentary came out a few years ago. So I guess that's what Bill's referring to. But again, Woody was not really in the Me Too, which, by the way, Ronan Farrow started the Me Too movement. And still, I don't think Woody Allen was that involved in it. That's what's weird about all of this is like they're talking about it without really talking about it. Like he keeps mentioning Me Too, and he's like, and your son who hates you. Like that never comes up for some reason.
I had made enough money so I could retire for life comfortably. I was thinking even I only want to make a few more movies, and then I would like to start to write books and plays. And so it happened to me at a time when it was no problem. If it had happened when I was 12,
if you're going to be accused of pedophilia, let it happen later in life, That's what I always say. That's a great motto from Woody, where he's like, really, it couldn't have happened at a better time for me. I got to, I really loved, if you told me I was going to be accused of pedophilia, I'd say, well, I hope it's at age 57, because that is not a young man's game, let me tell you.
Well, it is, though, the irony.
The first wave of it happened. First wave of it happened in 1993 when you were first with Sun-Yi. That was a giant scandal. But, what people forget maybe is that for years after that, you were golden.
That's not a great, he's like, for years, no one acknowledged the pedophile accusations. For years, we buried our head in the sands.
And we don't talk about all the years you weren't a pedophile.
Head in the sands annoys me that I said that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Mike, you're getting a little, I think the camera's moving a little bit. You think?
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I just was waiting until
go
that way. Perfect. You're done. That's it.
Okay.
You did it. Good job. All right. This next one's called Hurt.
Yeah, and I think you can guess which one of them is hurt by all of this. Oddly, it's not Woody.
But it amused me because it didn't.
That's awesome.
It didn't have any as a practical thing. It was not hurtful to me.
Oh, come on. Yes, it was.
Well,
it should.
No, it wasn't.
I like Bill Maher going, shut up. You shut your mouth right now.
as I'm talking about as a practical matter. You know, I was as I say, I was in my 80s, and I had made so many movies, and it didn't matter.
But
It didn't hurt me. If I was 30 or 40, it would have been career ending.
But disillusionment.
But it wasn't. My
come
career
on.
was,
Disillusionment is disillusionment at any age. I mean, you must. I know you said in the book you were disillusioned at the justice system. I thought that was fascinating. You said
that's different.
I was so naive. I thought there was a penalty for perjury.
Yeah, you're shocked because most people don't find themselves in a situation in a courtroom, and you're in a courtroom and people are perjuring themselves one after the other, and you think, well, isn't this against the law?
I will say, if Woody is innocent, like if he didn't do these things, he's remarkably restrained about it all. Like if he didn't molest Dylan Farrow and was dragged through the mud, and I looked at just on Twitter, I was looking for the original. I was going to tweet out the clips, but I couldn't find the ones I wanted on Twitter. But what I did find is a lot of people being like, "Fuck this pedophile! Bill Maher's a scumbag for having him on." And if Woody Allen is not guilty of those things, he is remarkably restrained, and that's a good place to be. And it's funny to hear Bill Maher be like, "Oh, I wish you were so much angrier about this."
Right, right.
Why are you in such a good place about this? It's a weird thing. It's similar to that Stern thing where Howard has people on, and he's like, "Aren't you bitter about the way your career turned out? Because I'm bitter about the way my career turned out." And the guests are always like, "No, not really."
Almost trying to undo 30 years of therapy in a half-an-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've made peace with this. No, you sure about that? Sure? You sure?
Law, but you find out that it isn't exactly what you think. Yes, it's against the law technically, but nobody does anything about it. It was interesting. I found the whole thing an interesting and amusing experience in many ways.
Got a sense of humor about everything.
A little girl was either molested or brainwashed into thinking she was. Oh, that's good stuff.
Look at all these people lying about me. That's hilarious.
And only because I had already, as I said, done so many movies and had accumulated enough financial resources so that I wasn't hurt.
Go ahead.
He sounds like the Saturday Night Live guy, the guy that runs Saturday Night Live.
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, he has this new kind of accent I haven't heard from Woody Allen in a while.
Oh, interesting.
How old is Woody Allen? He's got to be
89. He'll be 90 this year, I think. Yeah.
It's old man accent, I think. Next one is Bill is shocked.
Bill's outraged by Woody's Woody has handled this very adult. Now, of course, if he's guilty, he's probably just happy he got away with it, I guess. But if he's not, he's handling it remarkably restrained for being dragged through the mud for all those years. And Bill doesn't like that. It irks him.
Yes.
It's sobering.
Right, but fortunately, I was never really in the system because I was never charged.
Of course you were. There were 2 police investigations.
Yes, but I was never charged with anything. I was found.
You were wrong, Woody. Why aren't you mad about this?
Oh, but that would make me
found that nothing ever happened.
I know,
in both investigations. So I never really suffered as much as you might think. But I will say it was fortunate. It came at a fortunate time in my life because I didn't have to worry about money and I didn't have to worry about making films. I made them and
Well, you were much younger when those 2 police investigations were going on. I would be shitting in my pants if the police were investigating
Didn't
me.
that piss you off, huh? Can we get into that, maybe? Just for a guy that smokes so much weed, he's very agitated, Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, go get your own charges. Then you can deal with them any way you want. Quit trying to tell someone else how to deal with their shit.
It kind of sounds like Bill Maher wants to be accused of pedophilia so he can be angry about the headlines about it or something.
Yeah, he wants the cancer culture message to be able to spread.
And if you're innocent,
Yeah, except innocent people sometimes don't get. I mean, humans are making these judgment calls, and we know what we think of humans.
Doesn't that piss you off, Woody? Doesn't that make you fucking mad? Woody's just like, no, not really.
Try to get like maybe bet someone he could get Woody to jump off a bridge or something. Like there's something going on here.
And here's the thing: it doesn't seem like Woody's lying. Like he seems like he's made peace with whatever his life is, like for better or worse. He's at peace with it. And Bill Maher's like, doesn't it make you fucking mad, huh?
Yeah.
Doesn't get you fucking riled up. And Woody's like, no, leave me alone.
Let's remember, this is a man with a piece of young Asian tail at home. So what
young,
does he got to complain about?
58 or something like that.
Well,
now.
compared to him, he's 90.
Yeah,
you know?
yes.
He's not bitter, but bitterness is the next.
Well, yeah, Woody. Let's see. Woody's not bitter. Who could it be in this clip? Who could this be focused on?
So you have no bitterness toward the people who renounced you? I mean, there are some people who defended you, like Scarlett Johansson and, well, me, but I'm not in movies, Alec Baldwin, all your
they were
ex-lovers. Diane Keaton.
I don't. These are people that just made a mistake. I'm not criticizing them.
The renouncers?
They think or thought, whatever the occasion was, that they were doing the right thing, but they were not.
No, they didn't. They're cowards. Are you kidding? Timothy Chalamet. Look,
they're fucking pussies, Woody. Just say it. Like, Woody's in such a good place about it. Again, if he didn't just get away with something, like if all these people are wrong about Woody, that's an amazing. I actually admire that. Like, that's the angle I'd like to talk to him about. Is like, how do you get to that headspace? How do you get past that anger? And Bill's like, nah, they're bitches, man. They're little fucking bitches. You should beat these pussies up.
This is like the before and after for cancel culture therapy. Like,
Yes.
get therapy and you can deal with it like Woody, or you end up like fucking Bill.
Yeah, Bill is on the correct side of the cancel culture war, I think. But he seems angry that like he wasn't really a part of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that people didn't
really
really
charge.
because he was that guy. Like he had politically incorrect, but like he wanted a real incident that he could fight against. Like he wanted his HBO show canceled or something like that, and he never really had that. And he seems annoyed about it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
he's a great actor. I'm not trying to pick a fight with him, not that he would care. But, you know, I saw him on his campaign for the Dylan movie, which he was incredible in. But this boy wants an Oscar more than his next breath. He'd throw his mother under the bus, okay? So I can't, like, quite sit back as well as you can with this equanimity and say, oh, that weren't
Woody,
great.
this really affects me more than you. You know, I'm sorry if I'm not diplomatic about it, but obviously this impacts my life much more, and I'm riled up.
Woody's like, I'm excited for Dune 3. That's not what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to be mad at
A
it.
Gerwig who renounced you and, oh, I'm so sorry I worked with him. Okay, you know, she's a big movie director.
They're making a mistake. They're not. First of all, I've had a good time working with both of them, and they think that they're doing something honorable or helpful, but they're not. They're just, they guessed wrong. They made a wrong decision on that. Someday, maybe they'll realize it. Maybe it will be clear to them for whatever reason. Maybe it never will be. But that's all that they've done is made a mistake.
They're such sheep.
He can't leave it alone. Like if Woody's telling the truth, that's such an admirable headspace to be in. Be like understand. He's like, listen, they think they're doing the right thing. They think they think I'm evil or they're representing some cause, whatever. And that's on them. Maybe one day they'll realize that, maybe not. And Bill's like, but doesn't it fucking make you mad? They're cowards. Woody, they're cowards. Doesn't that upset you? He's like, no, Bill, no. I'm sorry, but I'm not mad at them.
Yeah, Woody is really like taking the high road too, even saying, look, they're wrong, as opposed to saying they made business decisions, they have no morals, and they're just doing this because they're Hollywood scum.
And I'll say this too. It seems like Bill and I kind of agree on what happened with Woody Allen, but like I could be wrong very easily, and so could Bill. Like Bill doesn't at all entertain the idea that Woody could be guilty. He's just like, he's like the fucking media, man. Like Bill doesn't have any idea, and he's just like, doesn't that piss you off that fucking Chalamet bashed you?
The next one's called cancel culture.
Oh, gee. I wonder what Bill's stance on this is.
You're the love interest in your life. With all the craziness and the Kafka-esque nonsense you went through, and I don't defend you because I'm a fan, although I plainly am, although you've also made some turkeys, that's true. But but you could be the worst filmmaker. I defend you because I don't like witch hunts. They're bad for society, they're bad for people, they're wrong, they're immoral. That's why I do it. Not because I'm a fan.
I like Bill's point. I agree with that, and you should do that. But I like Bill being... No one asked him, by the way. We didn't cut out any context where Woody's like, why do you do this, Bill? Why are you so... Why are you such a hero?
Bill goes, Woody's White Knight. Good call.
Bill goes, I don't do it for any fanfare, okay? I do it because I'm a hero. That's why I do it. I don't like witch hunts. And Woody's like, all right, man. Well, I didn't ask you to, so whatever. Bill's patting himself on the back for this thing that no one else in the room gives a shit about.
The hero we didn't know we needed, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm sure your persona is much more socially engaged, much more politically engaged. So an issue, you would engage the issue on the merits of the issue.
Yes, and I see a connection between a lot of where the left went that I did not like in recent years and this kind of case, this kind of moralizing, this kind of bullshit, standing apart from the facts, just wanting to look like we're the good people and we shun this person and this person is canceled and that kind of stuff. I don't like it in any of its dimensions. Look, I always say about these cases, if you're not in the room, just don't say to me, I know. You don't know. I don't know about you. Nobody knows except you. I would just say that of all those kind of cases, the preponderance of evidence on the one side makes it just very unlikely that you were guilty of this. It just, none of it makes sense.
You know, I want to
Hold on, Bill, I agree, but you're kind of acting like you know. You're kind of,
said no one can know.
You're kind of talking to a guy who was accused of pedophilia and going, "Oh, it's bullshit what they did to you, man." Like, what if you're wrong? You didn't entertain that idea?
He goes, "No one can ever know." But you know how you know that you were totally wrong there? Oh, my God. One of the points on what you were saying a moment ago, there's a difference between the Me Too movement and cancel culture. I mean, the Me Too movement, for whatever value it had in terms of advancing women's rights, is a valuable thing.
This is what I thought was really interesting, where Woody's like, Bill, the Me Too movement had some value. It did some good things. Like the movement that went after Woody, he's like, it had its pros. And Bill's like, no, it's bullshit, man.
You know, Bill, there's some scumbags out there.
It's crazy to me that Woody's the one saying this to him.
Culture is a totally different phenomenon. It may be related to it, it may have been utilized by it, or by various, it's been utilized by various, but cancel culture is a pernicious thing, and it's quite a bad thing. But in terms of, I always feel if you're going to be canceled by a culture, this is the culture to be canceled by.
Yes.
And he kind of got shit for that comment, but he's like, I won't be stoned in the street, or I won't be beheaded or something. Like, I get what he's trying to say. He's like, hey, and that's again an interesting perspective, and I would like to hear more about that. The idea that he's like, hey, if you're gonna be attacked or witch hunted or whatever, this would be the place to do it, and I've made peace with that, whatever. And instead of getting an interview on how he got into that headspace, Bill was just like, nah, you're not thinking about it right, man. You should be fucking pissed. And we never get to hear how Woody got to that point in his life, or any questions about the possibility that he did do it. It was the craziest way to conduct this interview. It's not what I was expecting, but I think Woody comes off a lot better than Bill in the interview.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.